I don't know about you, but I'm in the mood for some really good whiskey, but we're completely double blind. These could both be trash. We have no clue what we're drinking. Let's get into this.
Welcome to Stuff and Whiskey. I'm Erin.
I'm Josh. We are back with another completely double blind head-to-head where we've drawn these samples at random from our blind sample pool full of a bunch of matchups that are put together for one reason or another, and it could be almost anything. Allocated versus available, inexpensive versus expensive. You know, who knows? It could be a curveball that we're walking right into and don't know what's about to hit us in the face. But what I will tell you is that typically we put a very high level of production into what we do around here, and you're seeing some of that. If you're familiar with the channel, you already know. But we're going to run this video completely uncut, and you're going to get a little bit of an insight into the process of what goes on. And some of this we're probably just going to be talking to each other. But let's get into this and see what we're working with. Okay. Hopefully these are pretty good. Again, no cuts, straight through. Somebody mentioned that double blind tastings don't, like, if you're putting cuts in and taking breaks in the middle, that it kind of nullifies the process. So we're just going to rip one completely front to back. Yeah. And you're going to get...
I hope it's not 30 minutes long and you don't take, like, forever to decide which one you like.
Well, that's what we usually
That's usually
do.
What we cut out. It's just Josh deliberating back and forth for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, me sitting here sipping with my eyes closed, because I taste better with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out what's going on. Yeah. But we're not doing that this time. So let's get into it. On the nose.
Okay. Smells like whiskey. It smells kind of light.
Yeah, very light.
And maybe a little bright.
Yeah, I'd say light and bright's an accurate descriptor of this. It's I'm not getting much. It's not jumping out of the glass. It's pretty faint.
The phrase that came to my mind was starlight.
This smells like Starlight?
Not the brand Starlight, not the whiskey company Starlight, but like Starlight, Starbright, First Star I See Tonight. I don't know why. That just popped into my head.
Maybe because the moon is really bright, but Starlight is less bright.
Perhaps.
Not as...
Perhaps.
I don't know. We're grasping
I don't know
here.
how my brain works. It just sometimes does.
Yeah, I'm just kind of getting like this very general caramel, vanilla, bourbon-y type of sweetness off the nose here.
Shall we drink it?
Yeah, let's get into the nose, or get into the palate, because the nose is not giving me much.
Oh, this tastes like dirt. I kind of like that. It's not what I wanted, but I kind of like that flavor.
You're a dirty girl. You like you some dirt.
I like the earth.
You like some Whole Foods whiskey.
I like to smell the earth. I don't like to be out and getting my hands into the earth, though. I'm not an outdoorsy girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
This is interesting.
To me, just straight up, again, very general bourbon sweetness. There's nothing that's really standing out. There's also nothing that's standing out in a good or a bad way, I guess I should say.
So I'm getting a smell and a taste that after having done so many of these tastings, I'm going to say tastes like youth. Wheat thins, youth. I don't know how to I don't know how to like put that into words. Maybe it's a little bit of the sharpness, a little bit of the lightness that I'm getting. It translates as maybe young.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean,
whether it is or not, that's how it kind of translates to me.
Yeah, I took a second sip right there, and I'm just getting kind of this very light, faint, nutty sweetness in the glass, and it's not... There's nothing offensive in the glass, but there's also nothing that's really blowing me away. I will say the finish is sticking around for a while, though.
I bet this is a rye. It tastes so earthy to be a bourbon.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think it's a bourbon.
Okay.
Could be wrong, though.
Maybe. I don't know.
We are double blind.
Heck if I know.
Yeah, I think that, generally speaking, like, that's something that categorically not the thing I'm going to reach for when I want an awesome pour that I want to sit down and smell a bunch and pick apart and everything.
I'll agree.
If I just want general bourbon-y sweetness and I'm hanging out and just kind of want something in my glass, seems exactly like it would fit the bill for that.
I don't know.
If the price is right. I don't
know if it would fit the bill for that for me.
All right. Let's get into glass number 2 and see what we're working with.
Who does number 2 work for? Sorry.
Is that Austin Powers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a cult icon that run of movies was. Like, just killed it.
Yeah.
This smells also light and faint, but
it smells
better.
Yeah, it smells like there's a little bit of a darker underpinning to
Yeah.
this one, while still light in essence. There's like a dark emotion.
Yeah, to me, it's like a dark fruitiness. I'm getting
Yeah.
like this. It's very faint, but it's like this dark kind of raisiny type of note in the background.
Oh yeah, raisiny.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, almost like the box of the what is Sun-Maid? Who makes the raisins in the box?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't eat raisins, so
Remember the California raisins?
yeah, I loved them. I used to collect. They had little action figures that you could
Yeah.
collect in Happy Meals at McDonald's, and I would collect them. And then one time I kept getting the same one, and my mom asked them if they could give me a different one.
Was there a song or a movie? So, like
Yeah, it was a
I
movie.
heard it through the grapevine though. That was a great song.
Yeah, it was a movie,
Yeah.
an animated movie.
And it had that song in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
I remember that.
that's the
Wow.
first time I heard that song was in that movie.
Yeah.
So that introduced me to good songs that were already in existence
Yeah.
before they made an
Like
animated
the old
movie.
soul and R&B and stuff, yeah. Okay,
Okay.
this smells great.
Let's
Let's
drink
get it
it.
on the palate.
I like this one better. I don't know why though.
Getting a lot of the same things. It just seems like a slightly turned up version of Glass 1.
Yeah.
Caramel, vanilla, sweetness, a little nuttiness, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Pretty faint, pretty light. Glass 1, now tasting Glass 2, Glass 1 seems like it might be a little bit more dry and have a little bit of a touch of bitter
Perhaps.
compared to Glass 2, which tastes a little juicy.
Oh my gosh.
Bust out the sweatpants. This is a juicy,
Oh my gosh.
juicy
The
pour.
juicy sweatpants.
But not like, typically if I would call a whiskey juicy, it would be that is a compliment of the utmost magnitude,
Yeah.
of which this glass does not deserve.
yeah.
Which is
So-
no offense. It's just not a, it's not a, it's not,
You're backpedaling here.
yeah, it's not a
Okay.
juicy whiskey. It's just a wet whiskey.
Okay.
It's a little moist.
This is normally the time when we would say we're gonna take some time with these and be back, but we're gonna not take some. We are gonna take some time with these, but we won't be back because you're gonna get to see this. So,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas!
Man.
Christmas in the summer? It's gonna be in the summer?
Yeah. This matchup has me really confused because these feel very similar to me. And typically when we would cut, we don't even talk, really. I mean, Erin does her thing, I do my thing.
Well, let's
Yeah.
do it.
But we're not going to leave a bunch of dead air. We'll kind of talk our way through this as we go, kind of give the play-by-play of what we're thinking.
I don't want to.
You don't have to, but I'm going to. I'm going to clear my palate first.
Okay, I'm gonna ignore you.
But we will typically take some time. We'll start with the second glass. We'll do some back and forth comparing what you're seeing Erin do right now. And it's honestly, it's hard to do that and still talk to a camera and have both things be good. To like talk to the camera and make it entertaining.
Yeah, you
and
talking right
informative.
now is already messing me up. Like
Yeah.
I can't think right now.
Yeah. Well, just ignore me. You do it so well in other parts of our life.
I can't for whatever reason.
Yeah. Because the camera's rolling.
Because the camera's rolling and I feel like
Oh,
pressure.
I'm getting a little more sweetness on glass 1 on the nose.
I don't want to hear. This is where I don't like this. Can you guys just be okay with us not talking for a minute?
It's too much dead air.
Okay. It's really hard for me to hear what you're saying because I'd like to formulate my own thoughts.
Well, just pick your favorite. But really, I mean, that's honestly what we're doing here is we're just really trying to focus in on which one our favorite is. We're usually not trying to pull out specific notes or anything else like that.
Nope.
We're kind of seeing if things change for us or not, or if our first impressions hold true. And a lot of times the first impressions do hold, but sometimes they change pretty wildly.
Yeah. Mine might be changing.
Oh, mine might be too.
Okay. I'm
Really
ready.
interesting.
I'm ready.
Really? Okay. Go ahead.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'll be ready. Go ahead.
Okay. So they're both getting just okay, but I do like glass 1 better, surprisingly enough. After tasting it, like glass 2 first, and then going back to glass 1. To Josh's point, it got a little sweeter. I almost got kind of like sweet tea on this after coming back to from glass 2. Yeah, that's all I got. Just okay, but I prefer glass 1.
Yeah, I think I'm in the exact same spot. Wow, that's crazy because Started with glass 1, and this is not our first sip of the day. We did warm our palates up before this, but glass 1 just didn't really do much. On the both. To be fair, both of these kind of seem like a $30 bottle of bourbon.
Yeah, that's why they're both getting just okay.
And
for
I would
me.
be $25-$30. Tastes like a lot of other things on the shelf. Nothing is particularly standing out. Sorry,
This is
what you're
uncut.
getting uncut.
This is uncut.
Nothing is particularly standing out on either one of these, to be honest with you, but nothing is off in either one either. So there's nothing bad about them. As long as they're around that kind of entry-level bourbon price point of good shelf products, I think both of these are fair buys. I'm going to give them both a just okay. They're decent.
Yeah, they're not something I would reach for at this point in my whiskey journey. That's fair to say.
Yeah, unless I was like grilling or something, and even if I was outside cooking, I probably would reach for something that's lighter or more sweet than this.
Yeah, if
Like a Buffalo Trace product.
yeah,
or,
if
you
you're
know,
out
something in that
grilling
vein.
and it's hot, I almost would want something kind of sweeter, because if it's too warm or too dry, it just makes you feel more warm and more dry in the hot summer sun, in my mind.
You know what these fit for me? The profile they fit for me is like a good base cocktail bourbon for an old fashioned, because they're not too sweet. They're pretty tame on the sweetness scale.
Although sweetness did come out more in
Yeah.
this one after going away from it and coming back, but it's still not very sweet in general.
Yeah.
Like, that's really weird. Was this the one that tasted like earth?
Yeah, you said it tastes like dirt. But then after trying two and going back to one, it definitely does bring out a little bit more sweetness.
How the turntables.
And it is that caramel vanilla sweetness, whereas
Yeah.
actually comparing the two, what I noticed, I thought glass 1 was a little bit woody, dry, and bitter. Glass 2 turned to be more of that. That raisiny note on the nose went away, and I did not enjoy that.
That's what happened to me too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, we both prefer glass number 1, and like I said, I think both of these, $30 is a fair price on both of these. So we will see what we're working with.
Shut the front door.
Are they a lot more than that?
Did you make a mistake? Did you forget to edit?
How much are these?
Did you forget to edit the pool?
No, how much are these? Glass
Which
number
one?
glass number 1, number 73. What's the price?
$100.
Wow.
don't-
What's the price on glass number 2?
$250.
What?
This can't be right.
Well, we'll find out in a minute.
It can't be right. I feel like mistakes were made.
It's got to be age. No, I went through and checked the pool. I made one mistake one time in 3 years in the channel.
I know, and now I'm all paranoid that everything.
No, I went through and checked to make sure everything was right. All right, let's find out what glass 2 is. Number 74.
Gosh.
By the way, thumbs down on both at those prices, right?
Oh, 100%.
We don't. Yeah.
I'm
They're
out.
they're not bad, but they don't justify that price
They're
tag.
not the profile that brings me joy. I'm not gonna lie.
What is glass 2? 74.
Okay, 74. Old Fitz 19-year bottled in bond, 100 proof.
Which means glass 1 is.
Old Fitz 8-year bottled in bond, also 100 proof. And both of these are thanks to Bill and Delia Kavanaugh. So thank you, Kavanaughs, for sending us these.
Thank you very much. So the reason this matchup is in here is because it's a curveball.
What the actual heck?
So hang on, what's the price on the 8-year?
100.
Okay, this is the youngest Old Fitz decanter release they've ever put out, and that 19 is the oldest they've ever put out.
250.
250. I don't even know what these things actually go for.
Oh,
In most markets,
so that's a retail.
They get marked up.
Gotcha.
They sell for way more on secondary or stores that mark things up. This is wild.
Goodness gracious.
They're both 100 proof weeded bourbons, which is not typically our thing.
I didn't pick up a weeder funk, which is good. That's saying something, I guess.
We both preferred the 8-year over the 19-year.
Not at first, though.
Not at first, but
18-year, I think, right?
19.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not at first. Not at first. Definitely not at first. And then took some time. And then I did.
Soft, easygoing, light nuttiness. People flip for these bottles. I mean, there's one over there, a 14-year, that I got years back, and it's got a home blend in it now. That bottle's long been finished, but the mouthfeel on that 14-year was the only thing that really impressed us. But like, what you're paying for here is you're getting exactly what you're paying for. Things are
And
what they
is
are.
that? Because I don't feel like I would be getting what I'd be paying. What am I paying for if I were to buy this?
You're getting a 100 proof weeded bourbon. So if you like 100 proof weeded bourbon, and you're willing to pay a premium price for that for a limited release product in a really beautiful bottle,
The bottle is beautiful.
that's what you're paying for. But at the end of the day, it is a 100 proof wheated bourbon.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It has age on it. That does come through, especially on glass 2 with that kind of the oak, the way it's coming through. But flavor profile wise, they taste like Heaven Hill tastes.
I can't agree or disagree because I don't know what Heaven Hill's supposed to taste like.
Wow.
And why do you say that? Why do you say that?
Say what?
They taste like Heaven Hill.
I mean,
Because you didn't know that before and you never said that.
Well, light nuttiness,
Okay.
caramel vanilla sweetness. Like
Okay.
this is the profile. I would much rather have an Elijah Craig barrel proof. If I'm buying Heaven Hill for $100, I'd much rather have an Elijah Craig barrel proof
Why?
than either one of these. I prefer the proof and the flavor that comes with Elijah Craig barrel proof.
Does Elijah Craig Barrel Proof have the nuttiness and the same flavor notes, or is this different?
Some, but because these are wheaters, the spice is tamed down. It makes them a little bit more easygoing, a little bit more relaxed. Also, it's 100 proof versus ECBPs being up in the
Barrel proof?
high teens to low
Yeah,
to
yeah.
mid 130s. I just personally am not going to pay a premium for this product because it's not what fits my profile. This is where we talk about on the channel sometimes about fighting the FOMO. It's very, 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 very important to know what you like because rule number 1 for me, know thyself.
Know thyself. Yep.
And also, I think rule number 1 in whiskey for me is going to become things are what they are. So you got to know what your palate likes and then align that with what things are. I don't tend to like low proof wheated bourbons.
May I put an addendum to this?
Sure, go ahead.
Know that, but still be willing to try things.
Yes.
Because there are some low proof bourbons that surprise you.
That's a good point.
So don't be closed off.
Right. And if I got an opportunity to buy one of these bottles at retail, would I do it? Probably, because it's a fun bottle. It's a great looking bottle to have on the shelf. It's a very fun bottle to share with people. But we've had enough of these now, and we've tried enough of them to know that my expectations would be very low as to the actual whiskey in the bottle. I wouldn't go in building it up to be something it's not. I mean, you can get Rebel 10-year single barrels in a lot of markets that have more age than this, more proof than this. It just doesn't come in the fancy bottle.
Yeah.
But it probably would be better, more to my palate.
So, yes, I agree with what you were saying, but I do want to say that if this is something you like, you don't like the Rebel, like Josh is giving you reasoning as to why he would do something. If you like this flavor profile more than you like the Rebel 10 and the other one you said, then get.
Well, this is Rebel 10's the exact same thing as this. It's a Heaven Hill wheated bourbon.
But what makes it different?
It's a different bottle. Like they determine what goes in each bottle. Supposedly,
Okay, just kidding. Scratch what I said. I'm done.
Old Fitzgeralds are like the select barrels.
I'm gonna pretend that I didn't say anything, and y'all can too.
It tastes like Rebel. I mean, it tastes like Heaven Hill wheated bourbon. Tastes like Heaven Hill wheated bourbon.
Okay,
so
fair.
buy a bottle of Rebel 100 wheated bourbon. If you love it, or if you really, really, really like it, and you get an opportunity to buy one of these, even at a price premium, maybe consider it because this is an elevated take on the Rebel 100 profile.
There you go.
But if you don't like low proof wheated bourbon, then don't feel a bunch of FOMO, fear of missing out over not having one of those decanter bottles sitting on your shelf because the whiskey in it probably isn't going to blow you away like it doesn't typically blow me away. Now, with that said, the 15-year, the 16-year, there are some special releases of this product that are really good, but at the end of the day, they are still what they are.
Yep.
So I wouldn't have high expectations personally because I like higher proof. So
There you go.
if you like low proof, again, wheated bourbons, you might like this kind of thing. If you like honest opinions like this, when I said both of these were about $30 entry-level bourbons, before we found out what they were, if you like that sort of thing, think about subscribing to the channel because these blind tastings remove all the bias and give you the most honest opinions possible. And subscribing is only going to get you more of that style of content in your inbox, in your feed, wherever you get the things that you get at the Getting Stow.
My gosh.
Check out our Patreon.
We gotta wrap this ship up. Wrap this up. Bring this ship into port. There we go.
Okay, you got there.
I was two metaphors. Doesn't really work.
Okay. Down in the video description, there will be 2 links. One to our Patreon community, one to our online shop. You can get shirts at the shop. other merchandise, apparel, whatnot. Over on Patreon, though, that's where the business goes down. That's where we do all kinds of additional styles of content, Patreon live streams. I do pop-up nerdy live streams, do all kinds of stuff in that. We release our barrel picks through there. That's how you can get those, so make sure you check it out. There's even a free tier to join. There's not a lot in the free tier. You're not part of the community, as that were, but you are supporting by just being a part of that, and the barrel picks as they sell through the paid tiers. If they don't sell out, which some of them don't, a lot of them do, but some of them don't, and they go to the free tier. So make sure you check that out. If you're interested in barrel picks that get through, that's how we release the additional ones that get into the public space. So it's worth checking out. And I think that's about it.
I think that is. Be good to each other, y'all. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.